In this question, we're asked to solve the quadratic equation x squared plus 5x plus 6 equals 0. Now, one of the methods we could use to try to solve this quadratic equation is factorization, if possible. And that means to put this equation in the form of using double brackets. So when we do use double brackets, we want to think of two terms that when we multiply them will give us x squared. So what two terms could we use to give us x squared? Well, that can be written as this, where we can see if we were going to try to expand out these double brackets, we'd have a situation where we did x times x, and that would give us x squared. So we know we're on the right tracks there. Now what we need to think about is two numbers that when we multiply them, they give us 6. So we could try 2 times 3 possibly. There are other variations that we could use, but we could try 2 times 3, and we definitely know that gives us 6. So we could put in 2 and a 3 there. But we also want to think about two numbers that when we add them together will give us a 5. So we definitely know that if we have 2 plus 3, we get 5. So we're probably on the right track there for these two numbers. Maybe a 2 there and maybe a 3 there, although you could switch them around and have the 3 there and the 2 there. You also want to explore whether it's going to be a positive 2 and a positive 3, or a positive 3 and a positive 2 there. The reason why you need to think about positives and negatives in front of the numbers that you're going to put there is just in case you can see a negative or a negative in the quadratic equation that you have. In this particular case, we don't have any negatives there, so we're probably going to put positive 2 and positive 3 as our answer there. Now, how do we know we're right? Well, what we can do is we can check this by reversing the process and expanding out our double brackets. So we'd have x times x gives us x squared. Then we'd have x times positive 2 gives us a positive 2x. Then we'd have a positive 3 times x gives us a positive 3x. And then a positive 3 times a positive 2 gives us positive 6. Now, obviously, when we collect like terms, we'd end up with x squared plus 5x plus 6. So yes, that does work out. We have factorized that correctly. The next part in solving this quadratic equation, x squared plus 5x plus 6 equals 0, what we can think about is this situation here is if you happen to have two things that are being multiplied together and they equal 0, that means that either A must be 0 or B must be 0. So we can use this fact to help us work with the double brackets that we just factorized. So previously, we looked at x plus 3 in brackets times x plus 2 as being the factorized version of this equation. Well, thinking about a times b equals 0, if you think about this first bracket, we know that this object or this item must be equal to 0, or this second bracket must be equal to 0. So we have a situation where x plus 3 could be equal to 0, or x plus 2 could be equal to 0. So we can write these out. X plus 3 equals 0, and x plus 2 is equal to 0. In terms of solving these equations, if we subtract 3 from both sides here, and if we subtract 2 from both sides here, we find that x is either equal to negative 3 or x is equal to negative 2. And so that is the final solution to the quadratic equation x squared plus 5x plus 6 is equal to 0.